The boy from Trenchtown who led major technological breakthroughs at Comcast, America's largest cable provider, tells his story on Profile. Welcome, I'm Ian Boyne. Franklyn Athias is the Senior Vice President for Communications and Services at Comcast, America's powerhouse company, now with 140,000 employees. When Franklyn joined a little over 20 years ago, Comcast was a small fledgling company. Through his major breakthroughs, which has led to his having 12 patents, awarded 12 patents by the United States. Through a lot of his creative work, Comcast is now a powerhouse which owns NBC.
Yes, yes.
And this is for a boy coming from Trenchtown and then moving into the inner city community in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Ah, what a story. Good to have you on Profile, Franklyn.
Thanks for inviting me.
Let's talk about your early years in Jamaica, your family background in Trenchtown.
And Jamaica was the best part of my life, I have to say. Growing up in Trenchtown was such a magical time. We played with the street, we played in the gully. We used to take our little toys and, make a little boat under the rain, and we could run down the street and try to catch it and chase it, But, it was a magical time for me, and it was something I remember to this day, and I'll never forget. Yes. And it made me who I am, I have to say that.
So you left early with your siblings?
Siblings,
yes.
So
your brother is Herman, who's a highly accomplished brother. Yeah. And you left in 1970?
1970. August 1970, we left and went to Brooklyn, New York.
Tell us about life there.
Brooklyn, New York at the time in the 70s was, it's good and bad. You had the positives, you had the negatives, but, we took all of those things and we learned from them. But, growing up in Brooklyn at that time, I would say it was one of the best times of my life.
Yes.
I learned so many different
drugs
things.
And crime. And
the 70s was a year where it had all these things going on, which was a lot of negative.
Yes.
Right?
How you escaped those negatives?
I escaped them by looking at them and saying, that's not going to be me. I looked at it, seen things happening, seen people getting arrested and saying, no, that's not going to be me. Okay. So I went to work. I was lucky to find a supermarket across the street from where I live, right? And I was able to go there and pack bags.
What age?
I was 10 years old. I was packing bags in the supermarket. So I'd pack the bags, take them to the houses, run back and got my spot at the register. So, so I made sure I can get the next person and, make my other little change while I was doing it. 10.
So you chose work rather than picking people's pockets?
Or selling that little thing on the corner of the street. Right? Yes. Because I did not want to walk into a situation where I am being pulled out of my house, right, which I've seen.
You saw that happening.
Right, and going to some place where I had no control of my life. All right, so seeing those things happen.
You made a determination, Franklyn.
That I'm not going to happen to me. It's never going to be me, and I'm not going to look in that direction. All right, and there was too many other positive things going on anyway, because I had other positive people that I could look at inside my family to say, if you do the right things will happen to you.
Yes. And were both your parents there in Brooklyn with you?
Oh, yes. I had my mom, my dad, my grandmother, who, I'm a wash belly. So, she always looked out for me and made sure everything was always great for me.
Yes.
So I had great people around me making sure that, I had all the right paths to take, let me say it that way.
And what was school life like?
It's funny because I had to say in the beginning in the U.S. it was easier than what I did in the early years in Jamaica.
Oh.
Right. But it gave me the opportunity to make it a little easier for myself. Now, I didn't like it, to be honest with you.
You didn't like
because I did not like the school system in the U.S. when I first went there.
Oh, yeah.
I remember one time my grandmother had to carry me back to school because I left the school and said,
about it that ticked you off?
It was just the people, the difference, you know,
Yes.
because and even though I left here at a young age, I still remembered certain things, right? And going there, it was just brand new for me, and it was just a different experience until I got used to everything around the city.
Was school near home?
As a matter of fact, it was on the same block. And, you know, so in New York, everything is on a block.
Yes.
Right? So it just so happens that where we lived on Vanderbilt Avenue, my school was right at the corner. So I used to leave the house, go around the corner, go right into the school.
So walking distance?
Walking distance.
Yes.
It's a walking distance.
And you did well enough to graduate?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I had to. I have no choice, right? Because, you know, there was all the positive things, right? You know, mom and dad, you know, my mother took a leap of faith and came to the U.S. first. My sisters and my father came second.
Okay.
She left there, you know, my older brother was watching over me, and my other brother, and of course my grandmother, who loved me to death, was watching over us. So then we came up afterwards. Right? So we progressively came. And then once we were there, we still had the family bond around us to make sure that, you know, everybody was nice.
So you realized, Franklyn, that there was no option to fail, that you had to do well at school.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, look, my mother and father made a leap of faith to come to the United States.
You weren't going to
There was no way I was not going to take full advantage of that and become successful, to be honest with you, right? Because failure wasn't really an option. And I hate to say it that way, but it really wasn't, right? Because of all the trials and tribulations of them making it in the U.S., right? And I heard all the stories, you know, where my mother had to work, right? You know, where my father had to work, you know, all the stuff my brother had to go through, you know, and my sisters and everybody. So there was not a choice but to try to be successful.
And the conditions in the home in Brooklyn were not very favoring at all. Cramped conditions,
you know,
from what Herman was saying off air.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, you didn't realize it was cramped, right? Because
a lot of you were sleeping on the same bed.
we slept in the same bed, right? You know, we had 3 or 4 of us in the same bed. We had a pull-out couch. It was 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and 8 people, right? And we lived together. You know, we sat on the fire escape, right, to escape the heat. Right, because there was no such thing as air conditioning where we lived, right? But, you know, we had a radiator. We used to hang our clothes on to dry. When it get too cold, because, you know, as Jamaicans don't like the cold, we used to turn on the heater, right? Which for us, the heater was to open the oven door and let, you know, warm the place up, right? You know, so, but it was home.
It was home.
It was home.
And there was love, and there was acceptance, and most of all, faith.
Of course.
There was a faith that things could be better.
All the time, right? And it was because we saw everybody working, right? I mean, everybody worked, right? And
so everybody in your family.
Everybody in the family worked, right? And you're going to school, you're working, right? And you're trying to get better, and you're trying to do something different, right? So.
And then you went to college.
Yes, yes. You know, so I got lucky and got into a program called the Higher Education Opportunity Program, right? Which allowed me to get into a school that probably I wouldn't have gotten into because I couldn't afford it. All right. So the nice thing was I got into this program because they saw the opportunity in me, right? And I took full advantage of the opportunity where they gave me grants, but I still had to obviously take out loans and pay for some of it myself. So I had to go find work even at college, right? But I knew I had to find work anyway. But once I got into that program, right, it gave me the opportunity, you know, to take full advantage of getting that other piece of thing I wanted, which was a college degree, right, to then move to the next level. And
that was where you went into this magical field for you, computer programming.
Yes, yes. You know, so I was lucky enough, and it started actually for me in high school.
High school.
Where I learned programming in this program called computer math. And I found that I was very good at it, right? And then from that, I realized computer science was my path. All right, so I knew exactly what I wanted to do from what you call sophomore year to junior year to senior year. I knew exactly. The question now was, where was I going to go to school? And the senior year came, Rochester Institute of Technology was a place I wanted to go. I was lucky enough that I got accepted and I went there.
Rochester Institute of
Technology.
Of Technology. Yeah. And was that a 4-year program? Or?
No, it was actually a 5-year program because you had to do a year of what they call co-op, where you had to work for a full year, right? And, you know, once again, because some of the skills and some of the things I learned, I was lucky enough to find a job in the skills that writing code that I was very good at because all the way through college, I wrote code. I worked part-time writing code. So when the time came to find a full-time job, all the lessons learned, all the practice of writing code, I knew all of that. So it was relatively easier for me to find work at the end.
And all of that stood him in good stead. You would later go on to Comcast to lead significant technological breakthroughs there. Comcast is now America's largest cable provider, a Jamaican who has been at the forefront of these exciting developments in the information technology business. Franklyn Athias on Profile. We take our first break.